Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Damsels in Debate podcast. I'm your host, Tina.
I'm your co-host, Vanessa.
Yay, Vanessa is back.
Did you miss me?
Yes, of course we missed you. I mean, of course, thank you again to Shamar and Willis for filling in last week, but I'm very glad to have you back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a break, but we're back on our normal schedule now, so back to the old stuff. Before we get into our cues and all that crap, I wanted to give a quick shout-out thank you. We have a review, an actual full review on iTunes now.
Yay.
Yes, we have a full review on iTunes, and the review was done by TX Rock Chalk Rachel, and she basically just said, thanks for putting out this podcast, and one thing that she said that really stuck out to me was that she was excited to listen to a podcast that was focused on TV and film, but it was done by two women, because that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do a podcast, because I noticed the same thing, like almost all the movie podcasts that I listen to are all guys. And not that that's bad. I mean, they're funny and hilarious and everything, but it's just nice to have a woman's perspective. Yeah. So, yes, thank you very much.
We're there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and we love feedback, constructive feedback. I can't talk. So, yes, if anybody else wants to write a review, we'd be very happy, and we'll give you a thank you and shout out on the next podcast. So, thanks again, Rachel.
Thank you.
Okay, Vanessa, you got anything from your queue?
Well, the only thing from my queue, because I actually saw quite a lot of movies during our, away
hiatus.
time. Yeah. The one thing on my queue that you gave me was The Transporter with John Statham.
Jason Statham.
Jason. Okay, well, sorry.
That's okay.
That's close enough. I got Statham.
In the J.
And the reason why you had given me that is because at the end of Fast and Furious, how I was like, why is everyone freaking out? Who's this guy? You know, so you're like, oh my God, you need to see a movie so you can relate to where he's coming from. It's like, okay.
You can get just as excited as we are about the next movie.
So I saw this movie with Rob, and it had a great opening sequence with all the action. It really sucks you in right at the beginning. You're like, wow, look at this guy. He's like awesome with his car.
Right,
and did all these stunts and stuff. One part that I was like, yeah, okay, was when he shot off the bridge onto the moving truck and just landed perfectly on there. I was like, oh, that's a little unbelievable.
Not hurt at all or anything.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, but hey, it's a movie. So I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I liked some of the humor he had with the girl, like when he realizes, what's in the package, like never open the package and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
But it got boring for me. Like once all of a sudden the girl, she starts talking and she's like, hey, there's people in these storage containers. Oh no, you got to help me. And he's like, oh, okay. It lost my interest. So we ended up just turning it off. So we didn't finish the movie. So I feel bad, but it was good up to that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you took away from what you saw of the movie is exactly what I wanted you to see. He's in a lot of those types of movies, so I'll have to think of some more, maybe other ones that I find more entertaining, because I agree with what you said about that movie. And there is a sequel. Actually, I think there's 2 sequels. I don't remember now. But anyway, I just wanted you to see this actor, and this is what he's known for, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, Fast and Furious 7. It's going to be epic. Oh, man. I didn't watch any specific movie from my queue. I deviated a little bit.
Shame, Tina.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But same thing. I did watch a handful of movies. One that I saw in the theater was The Internship. And that's the Google Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn movie. And it was cute and like, oh, that's a nice movie. And there were definitely funny parts in it, but it was more of it was a PG-13 movie. It wasn't the R-rated humor that, those two guys are known for, like with Wedding Crashers and stuff like that.
I love Wedding Crashers.
Me too. So I thought that was going to be the type of movie it was. And, 5 or 10 minutes into the movie, I realized that it wasn't. I'm like, oh, this is PG-13.
Slump.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny, and it was more of like a heartwarming, funny, cute movie than the raunchy, funny movie that they're known for. So it wasn't bad, but it's not something I would say go to the theater to see or anything like that. So it was okay.
I'll see it when it comes out in Redbox.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Redbox it.
I saw a bunch of other movies. I guess we'll go back and forth. But the first one that I'll talk about is because I posted about it on Twitter was Despicable Me.
I love that movie. It's very
because,
cute.
Because there's a sequel coming out this summer, I believe, at the end of the summer. So I decided I need to rent that and watch this because everyone says how funny it is. So I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was very cute, and I watched it by myself, and I was sitting there laughing by myself. So that proves, it's a funny movie.
Definitely.
My favorite part was definitely the other bad guy, the son of the main guy. I forget his name, but he creates all these different weapons that just are not effective. They're just silly weapons, and one of the weapons is the squid launcher, and he's showing it off. He's like, "Yeah, the squid launcher," and you see this cute little squid poke its head out of the gun barrel, and then he shoots it, and it goes into the distance over the balcony, and you hear a splat like when it lands, and then you hear a person yelling, "Oh, there's a squid on my face!"
Yeah.
And just the way he screams that, it just cracked me up so bad. Like I rewound it and watched it again because it cracked me up so bad.
Yeah, that's a very cute movie. I'd like to watch it again.
Yeah, so I definitely enjoyed that one.
This next Saturday or Sunday, I'm trying to go to Universal Studios, and they got that new Minions ride there. So maybe I'll get my picture taken with the Minions too. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, let's see. What else did I see? I saw The Odd Life of Timothy Green. It's kind of an older movie, but I've been meaning to watch it. I actually watched it on the cruise ship one night. But yeah, it was cute. I couldn't really tell if they were shooting for more of an adult movie or more of a kids movie, but it was cute. It was different. And I think all the actors in the movie did a really, really good job. And especially the kid. Because, with kids, you can run, there's that fine line between, like, annoying and cute. And he never got super annoying, even though everything he did was so, like, earnest and so, goody two-shoes kind of thing. So, hats off to that kid actor. I don't know his name. It was an original story, and it was interesting. But, again, it's not something you have to rush out and go see.
My next movie, speaking of, like, warm and stuff, is Warm Bodies. I rented that, and because I've been wanting to see it, because I actually, when I saw a preview for it for the theater, it said based on a novel. It's like, oh, let me read this novel, like a zombie novel. That'd be kind of cool. And
yeah,
the novel was really good.
Yeah, I had no idea until you said that it was based on a novel. I mean, I guess I wasn't paying attention to the trailers.
Yeah. So the novel was good, so I was excited about the movie. And the movie, it was okay. It was really geared towards lovesick, female teenagers, basically.
The Twilight crowd?
Yeah, like the Twilight crowd, yeah, because it's the ultimate, like, you're loving a monster and you're healing the monster kind of movie. If you love zombie films, it's definitely not a movie for you because it has some, like, with the, they have the characters called the Bonies, which are just all bone zombie, and those are the real bad zombies.
Oh, okay.
And there's some parts that could be scary. But other than that, it's more just about the zombies become human based on love. Just because of their love, it heals them.
Okay.
And it was just like, I don't know. Like, it was just a little too sickeningly cavity growing sweet for me. And that's saying a lot because I love sweet movies usually.
Yeah, if Vanessa's saying it's too sweet, look out.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely comes from the book because the book has a similar theme, but the book words it better. I don't know any other way of saying it.
In the book?
It comes across better. It doesn't come across as a sickeningly sweet feeling to it.
Okay, well now I'm interested. I mean, like, I kind of want to see the movie, but I'm more interested now to read the book, actually. So I'll have to check that out on Amazon or something. Cool. The only other movie I saw was Bachelorette. I watched that on Netflix Instant. And no, it's not the reality TV show.
I know, I was just laughing thinking like, okay.
No, because I'm staunchly against reality TV, so no, not that. But it's about a bachelorette party, the night before the wedding. And it's a comedy. And I like a lot of the actresses in the movie. And it was, more of a raunchy, vulgar kind of comedy. But I was never, like, laughing out loud at it. I really wanted to, just because of the setup and stuff, but it would never, there was not, I like chuckled at a couple things. It wasn't that funny, and I really wanted it to be. And the only other thing is the lead character played by Kirsten Dunst. She's like relatable in a lot of ways, but she's just kind of mean, and so it was hard, like, because you want to root for this character and stuff, but you're also like, oh, what a bitch, So, I don't know. It was okay, watching it on Netflix. But again, it's not something I'm like, you got to see this.
Did it have like a hangover kind of feel to it? Because when you're describing a summary, it reminds me of The Hangover, just a girl's version.
Well, I mean, no, in a way, because it is like the bachelorette party, but it's also they are separated from the bride for a good for most of the movie, but everything's happening like as it happens. It's not like they wake up the morning after and they got a piece. No flashbacks or anything. So there's a similar setup, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like the same type of movie.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what we saw. Since we're talking about our cues, collectively, we're both going to add a movie and then watch the movie next week for our cues. What is it we're going to watch?
Red Dawn, right?
No, just Red.
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
I'm
just confused because I have some other movies I watched, though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
oh, shoot. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Next movie was Beautiful Creatures. And I wanted to bring that up just because of Jeremy Irons.
Oh, wow.
He made that movie because I like supernatural movies and I actually thought it was a good movie. But I saw the movie and I was like, oh, it's based on a book. Again, like, I'm going to read the book. I bet the book is awesome. The book was thoroughly confusing. They borrowed some plot points from the book to make the movie, but the book was just like too much going on. Like, I could not follow it.
That's funny because it's always the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like just like with what you were talking about, Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
So that's a nice switch.
One thing I wanted to bring up because of that movie with Jeremy Irons and his awesome voice was why is it that at least all the actors that I like with amazing voices, they're all English. Like I have Jeremy Irons and I have Alan Rickman, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Tom Hiddleston. They're all English actors.
Yeah,
like,
they are
what's
all
going on with the English producing all these great voices?
Yeah, they've got nice, very soothing voice. Yeah, they do. As far as Americans go, I can't think of any younger guys. All the ones I came up with, like Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones, Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Who else? Kelsey Grammer, Keith David, Vincent Price. They're all older. Leonard Nimoy. They're all like senior citizens, actually, I think, except for maybe Kelsey Grammer. And, Michael Wincott. I had to add him. You know, the bad guy from The Crow? The one with the real raspy voice.
Oh, yes. He's on Robin Hood, because I recently just watched that. He plays Alan Rickman's cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that in a while. But yeah. So, but yeah, they're all at least 45 years old, I think. So I couldn't think of any younger ones, so you got me there.
And then the other thing is we're going to bring up how you and I both saw This Is the End.
Yes, we did see it. We saw that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, right?
But, and I went and saw it again with my sister because she wanted to see it.
Now, how was that the second time? Because now that I was thinking about it more before the podcast, I'm like, man, that was really, really funny. But it was, it's because I only saw it the one time and stuff. So what was it like seeing it again? Did you catch things you missed before? Or
Not really, no. They kind of have everything out there. You don't really miss anything just because each person is saying a joke and stuff. But I definitely enjoyed like my sister's reaction to it more than like maybe not more than the movie, but close to enjoying the movie as well, just because she hadn't seen it, so her being shocked at certain things, like when the Backstreet Boys come out at the end and stuff, just cracked up laughing.
Spoiler alert.
And I think anyone who listens to our podcast knows that we're spoiling these movies.
Yeah, I just still like to throw it in just because I just don't want any hate mail.
Yeah.
But no, okay. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about This Is the End then.
Okay.
Are you a fan of those? I would assume you're a fan of those guys and all their
movies
like
Knocked Up and
Pineapple
Virgin.
Well, no, you didn't see Pineapple. Yeah, but that type of movie.
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. So, and as am I. I'm trying to think if there's any of those that group's movies that I haven't seen. I think I've seen them all. The only one, Superbad, I only saw that once. So that's the one that's probably like the least known for me. But anyway, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was refreshing, like a refreshing comedy. Definitely had a lot of guy humor, which I don't mind. Guy humor is guy humor. You're gonna laugh at it just because it makes sense.
I mean, it's funny, most of the time.
Yeah, I definitely like they spoof the Exorcist.
Yes, definitely.
That's really funny. Like, that was one of my favorite scenes, just because he's a demon. He's like, "Oh, really? Is it compelling me, Jay?" Oh, yeah. You know what? It's not quite compelling.
Yeah, that quoted, demon voice.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, my sister said that she really enjoyed when they're hiding in the closet and the possessed Jonah is running around. He's like, and he has a demon voice, but he's breathing really hard. So So, like, yeah, that's really funny. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It was really funny, especially with the celebrity cameos, like Channing Tatum and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, in the beginning of the movie, because they have this big party at James Franco's house, there's so many cameos. My favorite cameo in the beginning was Paul Rudd running up the sidewalk with a big bottle of champagne.
So what's going on?
But he, like, brings his big bottle to, like, this housewarming party. I was kind of sad he died right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of good cameos. But my two favorites were Channing Tatum, just because that was completely unexpected.
Yes.
And it makes me love him even more that he can like poke fun at himself like that and stuff. So that was really entertaining. And then, of course, at the end when they get to heaven and who's there again? The Backstreet Boys. Yeah, that, and they got all 5 of them. So that, I love the ending. It was really funny too.
And my sister sitting next to me, she's like, they're doing the dance too and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It, you know, what's funny is that on our drive home, we were discussing how people who are now in like middle school and stuff, like they don't really know the Backstreet Boys like we did. Like, man, they missed out.
You know, there was the big wave of in the
boy
late
bands.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that big pop wave.
So, like, I pity them. You know, they probably have heard the music, but they weren't part of the whole rave.
Isn't it funny? Because, like, I'm trying to think of, I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but I know I've seen movies where they had, like, a band playing, and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, it's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, whatever. But it's, well, now I'm in the other, position where I know who the band is, and there's a lot of younger people that aren't going to know who they are by sight, you know?
Right.
So... yeah.
Oh.
Whatever. It's just a different experience or a different perspective, I should say. But yeah, I liked the movie. I thought it was very funny. I would like to see it again. Not necessarily in the theater, but I definitely want to see it again. I would also really, really like to see the outtakes of this movie.
Oh,
you
yes.
know, those have got to be hilarious.
I think when it comes out, we should, like, get a big get-together and have everyone over and, like, you know, play drinking games or something and then watch it. I bet it'll be double hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very funny. I thought Danny McBride was really funny. He's really funny, I think, but he was really funny in here.
I just remember the scene where, like, they're talking about, James Franco was talking about him, saying, like, I hate that guy, and he's, like, behind him, like, going,
Oh.
And then another scene, he's like, I hear everything.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie. I had a good time with that. Well, to take it in a totally different direction, what was the big movie we saw this week that we're now going to review and spoil?
I think I'll get the title right this time. World WarZ.
It's a little hard to say that if you say it fast. It's like, whoa. It's hard to say. Okay, so now, we talked about it briefly last week, but I said that I read about half of the book, and it was really good. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. So, have you read the book?
No, I have not. I didn't even know it was from a book, so I'm kind of interested in reading it, even though you were saying it's different from normal books. It's like a collection of essays or something?
Kind of, yeah. So it is a little bit different. But yeah, I would recommend it, though.
Okay.
So, that being said, what did you think of the movie?
Well, let me see here. Overall opinion, it just leaves you lacking. It was okay. It just left me like, man, that was it.
Yeah, it left you wanting. I agree. That was like my overall, if I had to sum up my review in one word, it would just be lacking or wanting.
The main reason why I feel like it left me lacking is because he was all about saving his family throughout the whole movie. Like, he's doing this for his family to keep them safe.
Right.
And then when they think he's dead, they take the family off the ship.
Right.
And he when he finds that out, he's freaking out, saying like, "Oh, they say it's safe. It's not safe." So I'm like, okay, it's going to be a great climax when his family's in danger and he's going to have to save them from the hordes of zombies. Like, I'm all up for this. And he came back and they were fine. They all hugged.
Oh, yeah, that
ending.
was a really anticlimactic.
Yeah,
ending.
I was like, what? Like, they're in danger. They're in danger. Oh, no, they're not.
No, there they are, all safe and sound.
So that was my main, like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I feel this movie, and I don't mean to sound like one of those annoying people, but...
Yeah, well, you do, Tina.
I'm sorry. But this movie was super Hollywood, like a Hollywood zombie movie. Like, I never felt like there was any real threat going on in any of the main characters. It's like whenever Brad Pitt went out, I love Brad Pitt, but whatever. Whenever he went out with like a group of soldiers, I'm like, well, they're all gonna die. And his family was perfectly safe the entire. Not saying that I want to see like a kid get killed or anything, but I'm just saying I didn't feel any like. I was never scared for anybody in this movie at all. Like, everybody that was gonna die, I knew they were gonna die, and like. You know, like it's just
You didn't form that emotional bond with the characters.
no,
or anything.
not at all. And I really wanted to, and I knew going in, you know, it's gonna be PG-13, so it's like okay, they're gonna cut back on the gore, and they're gonna cut back. I don't even care about cursing really, but you know, there's not gonna be as much cursing, and the gore, the main thing, they're gonna cut back on the gore. This was tamer than an episode of Walking Dead. I think there was there any blood in this movie?
I remember seeing a bite mark on somebody that had some blood welling out of it.
Well, okay, yeah. See, there you go.
Other than that, no, there was a lot more just you see people from far away getting crushed or whatever. But
yeah,
no,
cutaways, a lot of cutaways.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and this just because I like editing, so it's stuff I pay attention to, but I feel like this went through like the trimmer like 5 or 6 times because some of the because some of the edits like in the close up shots were like when he was in the beginning of the movie when they were in like the stairwell, and it's like wait. I need another shot right here just because it was a little hard to see what was going on. I mean, I think a little bit of that can be attributed to the fact that we saw it in 3D.
Yes.
I don't think 3D helped this movie at all. It was just kind of like, whatever. I mean, I don't like 3D, so of course I'm going to be critical of it. But still, I didn't add anything at all to the movie to me. Mm-hmm. So
another thing I noticed, too, is that it definitely had some unintended funny parts. That should not have been funny, but maybe it's because we were in a theater, you know, with a bunch of people. Maybe if we saw it alone at home, we wouldn't be laughing. But there's the zombie later on with the teeth chattering. It's just like, that's not scary. That's just funny.
It was like, when they were doing their final watch through, it's like, hey guys, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were
going back to
thinking.
this guy, like, chattering the teeth. I was like, come on.
Yeah. There was a lot of close-ups of that thing.
And it was quite predictable what he was going to do. He's going to be stuck in there. Okay, and I turned to Rand's like, he's going to inject himself to get out of there. She's like, oh, and I'm thinking, like, you didn't know that?
Mm-hmm. And then the odds of him, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll change it up and he injected himself with something that we don't have a cure for or something like that, you know? No.
Or like he inject himself with something that he's like vomiting uncontrollably as he's trying to run back or something like that.
Just like, it was really predictable. They also, and I know this is just the thing that I just need to deal with, but they showed every big action scene in the movie. You knew it was coming because of the commercials. They really show a lot in the commercials. Like they should have left the plane part off the commercials, I thought, or something. I don't know, but it was just like the wall. It's like, oh, well, they're gonna climb up the wall. The plane. Oh, somebody in the back's gonna get bit or something. You know, so it was just everything. You knew what was coming. And like I said, because there was no emotional bond, and I didn't feel like anybody that was important, you know, to the storyline was ever really in danger. It was just kind of like, okay, we'll see what happens here.
I don't know about you, but I was just mad at the movie the whole time because people, you understand that they're attracted to noise, so why are you making noise? Like when they're inside the wall and they start all singing, and then that's what's causing them to try to climb the wall to get to them. I was like, shut up! Stop singing!
You know what I hated about that part? The wall was cool and stuff, and they had the helicopters that were circling, you know, doing their perimeter check. Where did all the helicopters go when the zombies were building up their ant wall?
Yeah, why did they radio in like, hey, something's going on in here, you better quiet down?
It's like, yeah, that was one thing. Like maybe they shouldn't have had the helicopters flying around, because when I saw that scene, I'm like, it's taking them a while to get up to the top of the wall. How come no helicopter has seen this yet? Whatever. I know they had to get over the walls, but they should have addressed that because it was, to me, it was glaringly obvious. I do like the actual zombie makeup, like the way they look, whatever. I mean, it just looked like a normal zombie, but I do like the way they had them move, that whole like kind of ant thing that they had going on, where they would just like pile on top of each other and they were very fast and stuff. I do like that. I thought that was kind of a new take on them, so that looked cool. But yeah, and like I said, I braced myself because I knew it was going to be PG-13 and stuff, but it was even tamer than Walking Dead. And I mean, Walking Dead's on AMC. I know they curse a bit on that show, but still, it is on, you know, like a regular TV. It's not on Showtime or something. So,
Bill Burr and his one of his podcasts that I listened to, and he's awesome, by the way. His
Yes.
Monday morning podcast, he was talking about how he was looking forward to that movie, but he was deathly afraid because it was PG-13. He's like,
Yeah.
a movie like that, he said you should have people running around going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And, he
Right,
said,
yeah.
and the people who aren't running around going, "Calm the fuck down."
yeah.
And it was like, that's true. I mean, we don't need the cursing, but we need it to be realistic too.
Yeah. And like that opening scene, I compared it to it's actually one of my favorite movies, the Dawn of the Dead remake that Zack Snyder did back in 2004. If you compare the opening scene of that movie to the opening scene of this movie, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Because the opening scene of Dawn of the Dead, well, it's like a couple minutes long and blah blah blah, and I don't want to get all into it, but it's just like when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, oh my god, like what would I do? This is just horrible.
Yeah.
Like I put myself in that position kind of thing. And then with, comparing it to this movie, they were on the street, like this super crowded street. They were in New York, weren't they?
No, I think it was,
Because they went to Newark.
yeah, they went over there, but I think they were in Pennsylvania. Whatever city that was. I don't remember.
Well,
they were in a big city.
A big city, yeah. And it was just, they found the camper, they jumped in there.
I know, and it just happens to have the keys in there, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, ready to go. And like, what? And so they left the keys in there when they went into the store, because then it was gone.
Yeah, I have no idea. But there wasn't that urgency, like, holy shit, people are dropping like flies. I didn't feel that, and I really wanted to. And you can, smart editing and a good storyline and good cinematography, you can get away with stuff with PG-13. Like, if you're not going to have the gore, at least pump up these other things to, make up for the lack of gore. And yeah, just on every level, I just was...
Disappointed.
lacking. Yeah, disappointed.
Well, you still got Walking Dead and 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Like, I like those movies.
I actually haven't seen 28 Days Later. I just recently borrowed it, so I'm going to watch it. I've seen 28 Weeks Later, though.
Oh, I like 28 Days Later more than 28 Weeks Later, but you'll think of that World War Z is actually kind of a muted version of 28 Days Later.
Oh, okay.
In a way. Like, some parts reminded me of it, but 28 Days Later definitely has the gore that you're looking for with zombies. Like, zombies are just, you're going to see gore, so that's why I was just like, where's the biting and the ripping and the...
Right. It's like going to see a romantic comedy with no kissing. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, you gotta have
they're
that
holding
in there.
hands. Like, that's enough.
Yeah, that is. And I'm not being like some gross person or anything. It's like, that makes sense that there would be that in the movie.
That reminds me of how Raina said that she hates Pride and Prejudice because throughout the movie, like, you have all this sexual chemistry and stuff, and at the end they just kiss, and she's like, they don't sleep together, they don't show anything, they don't make love. Like, she was disappointed to show that. Like, Raina, this was like, the 19th century, they didn't do that, like, until they were married and stuff. But I saw where she was coming from, though. Like, no.
Yeah, I need something here.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I didn't hate the movie, but I am certainly glad I didn't pay money to go see it. So I don't know.
I felt like a horde of zombies waiting in line to see that movie.
People, I mean, it's going to make a lot of money, I think, for sure, this weekend, because people are really psyched about it. But I don't know. One thing that I did like, and again, I could be wrong because I haven't seen every zombie movie, but I like that they actually said and called them zombies in the movie. I know at one point they called them like Zeeks or something, but they didn't call them like walkers or the undead. They just said, oh, there's zombies running around. So I like that. I don't know if there's like some rule about zombie movies that they're made in a universe where zombie movies don't exist. And so it's like, oh, shoot them in the head. That kills them. That's always like a revelation in the movie. Yeah. And, oh, once you get bitten, you die, and then you come back. It's there's this certain rules, I guess, of zombie movies. But I like that they actually called them zombies. A little thing, but whatever.
Yeah, well, they address it, too, with the, we got an email from Korea or something that said the word zombie, so we built this wall. It's like, why did you build this wall? But, yeah, so yeah, they address that, too, saying the word zombie.
Yeah, speaking of the wall, I was trying to remember, because it's been a little while since I've read the books, but I was trying to remember if there was anything in there because it's completely different. The only part that I remember being in the books that was in the movie was that they said Israel was the first place to like lock up and batten down the hatches and stuff, and I remember that being in the book, but other than that I really don't remember anything. There was this one battle though that's in the book, and if you do ever read it you'll know what I'm talking about, but there was this one battle set in Yonkers. And it was so interesting when I read it. I'm like, oh, I can just picture this in the movie. And it wasn't in the movie.
They left it out?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be in there.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to read the book then, because I think, I'll feel a little better. Like, okay, this is what the movie would have been. Yeah. And so I can just imagine it in my head.
It's funny. When I first read that they were making a movie, and I was reading the book, I was like, I see this more as a miniseries. Not a TV show, because that would just go on too long. And I think TV shows, they come up with good ideas for TV shows, but they don't think them through. And then, by like the third season, you're like, oh, this is horrible. But I really think that this would have been a really, really good miniseries.
Like 4 parts or something like that?
Yeah, or, I don't know what the standard is for miniseries, but and probably not on like ABC or NBC. It would probably have to be on HBO, I guess. But I think it would have been a really good miniseries because you have these different sections, because I think the war lasts like 10 years or something. Oh. It's a long time, because you have this whole time where it's building, but nobody's really, like, especially America, they're not addressing it. They're just kind of acting like, oh, it's it's fine, whatever. And then it starts to hit, and it's taking out people left and right and stuff. And then there's like there's a whole bunch of stuff to it, but it would work really well, I think, as a miniseries. So I think they should have done that instead of making this movie. Or make the movie, but name it something different and just, I don't know.
Overall, just disappointed.
Yeah, pretty much. One other thing that I thought was just kind of, I don't know. I noticed that Matthew Fox was in the movie, and he's not like an A-list actor by any means, but he was on Lost. He was the main character on Lost, which was a very popular show for a long time. I know you didn't watch it, but
I'm like,
But anyway, like, I'm watching this movie, and like there's a guy on the helicopter, and I was like, oh shoot, is that Matthew Fox? And then like later on again, I'm like, oh, I think that is Matthew Fox. So I'm waiting for him to like come talk to the wife or come do something.
Was that the guy that Brad Pitt knew in the army, like that hooked them up on the ship and stuff?
No, he wasn't on the big plane.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It was when Brad Pitt was with his family. Like, he was the pilot guy on that actual ship that they were on.
Oh, okay.
So, but he never, I don't know, maybe on like an unrated DVD, or maybe in some version of the script that role was bigger or something. It just seems weird, because it's like, they had to probably pay him more than just a normal extra.
Yeah.
So why was he in it? And I actually sat through the credits. I'm like, I want to see if that's Matthew Fox, and it was him. So it just, I don't understand why he was in the movie. That's the only thing I could figure, that he had a bigger part and it got trimmed down. But whatever. I mean,
maybe they'll release like a director's cut or something like that, like unedited or something like that.
Yeah, and you know what else I would like? I would like to see that, and then also I would like to know what was the original script, because this movie, there was a lot of problems with this movie, but I know one of the big reasons that it cost so much is that they had to basically like rewrite and reshoot like the third act of the movie. I don't know where exactly that that rewrite starts and then goes to the end, but I would like to know what was the other ending that they had.
The rewrite was probably something to do with his family being in danger, and they decided like, yeah, that's too much stuff to do.
Yeah. And
I'm just so mad about that. Like, something should have happened to them. They should have had a twist, like, oh, his family is in trouble and he had to do something. I'm just mad about that.
Yeah, because they were all just hanging out there happy, and for the whole thing with the zombie movie is that nobody's safe and people can die super fast, super easy, and no, his entire family, like, I half expected them to have like a puppy that was there at the end, with them. Oh goodness, Spike is here too.
He made it,
and Grandma. So yeah. I don't know, but yeah, that's our opinion on the movie. We didn't hate it, but we certainly did not love it. Very, very lacking.
Well, I had one thing I wanted to bring up in terms of anger. Because, again, my Tom Hiddleston moment of the week. I got excited because I saw a movie that he was recently in, like in 2011, called The Deep Blue Sea, and it said it was said it was like an erotic film, and it had like a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it had Rachel Weisz, who I love. You know, she's on The Mummy and stuff, and Constantine. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. So I went and actually bought the movie.
Right.
We're like, you know, it was only like $6, not a big deal. And then Tina came over and was like, let's watch The Deep Blue Sea. Like, oh, okay. And she's like, I'll deal with your Tom Hiddleston, you know.
Yeah, he's all right.
Whatever.
I like him.
And oh my God. That movie was all dialogue and all boring.
Oh, so boring. It's the most British movie I've ever seen.
And they said Rachel Weisz's performance is amazing, blah, blah. I'm going like, what? And like there was a little nudity, like a pan on the bed and stuff. So I saw a little bit of Tommy's little ass there. But other than that, just no movement, no action, nothing to keep me going. I was
it was so boring. Yeah, I was like, can we turn this off?
Yeah, we ended up. What did we end up putting on? Like Step Brothers.
Yeah, and which I only saw that once, so that was my second time seeing it, and I enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy we turned it off.
But yeah, I was like, no, Tom, this was not a happy movie for me.
No.
Maybe I'll try watching again when I'm in a very serious artistic mood, and, you know, and just like all by myself, and just be like, okay, let's give this movie another try. You know, I felt the same way about the New World with Colin Farrell and stuff. Like, that movie looked so good, and I put on like, this movie's boring. So,
yeah, I actually rented that movie.
Yeah,
so maybe
I actually own that movie because I made the mistake of buying it. I mean, I go to Movie Stop, I get it really cheap, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, that one I watched, I think, with my sister and my mom, and my mom went, "This is terrible. I can't watch this." Because nothing happens. It's like, I understand you're setting the tone, but this isn't a book. You don't need to spend 12 minutes on the creek. Yeah, I mean, it had Colin Farrell and Christian Bale, and I was like, this movie's gonna be awesome. Like,
yeah, and they had an actress that like really, I don't know, to me really looked like she'd be Pocahontas. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome, and no.
So, but anyway, back to The Deep Blue Sea. It just, it was basically about just her having an affair with Tom Hiddleston. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
But nope.
That movie, I feel like that movie could have been 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it could have been like a short or something.
Yeah. And I hate the way it was shot, too.
It was wasn't it like really dark? And then we were laughing because I was like, look at all the noise, because it was dark, but they didn't have correct lighting, so you could see the movement in the dark shadow. It was just noisy.
I felt like that movie was making my allergies act up. It just felt like dusty and scratchy and... No, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah. So I'm sad. I mean, I still got to see him in a different light, not as Loki, as a different actor, and his voice was still wonderful, and he's still like when he was smiling and everything, but it just, I was like, no, we're going to turn this off. So I'm not that obsessed in that, like, I love every movie he's in. Like, no, this movie sucks. So
yeah. That it did. Anyway.
So, but I think that, that's it for my movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me, too. Well, yeah, so, I mean, we're totally done with movies. So now, segueing into TV. What started last week, Vanessa?
True Blood!
Yay! Oh, boy, True Blood. You're a little bit more into it than I am, so, because you've read the books also. I only read the first book. And, but I mean, I'm a fan. I honestly, though, I gotta say, I'm watching this season just because I watched all the other seasons.
Right.
Last season really did me in.
Yeah.
I was not like, I didn't like anything that happened last season. So it's just, I just need to see what's going on, but I'm not really tied to the show anymore. So that being said, why don't you go ahead and start this one off?
Well, okay, so we watched the premiere. First of all, spoiler alert. I hate that they killed off Luna right at the beginning. Because I actually like Luna because she's played by Janina Gavankar. I looked up her name, but and she actually played a character called Poppy in The L Word, which I told you should see because that's a really good show.
Yeah.
And they she was like a main character, and all of a sudden they just wrote her out of the script too. And we were like, no, why?
I know. Yeah.
So, and it was so abrupt the way they did that. Like, she's like, take care of her. And you're like, bleh.
Oh, maybe the actress had to get out of the show or something for some reason.
I don't know. So I was just very disappointed in that because, like, poor Sam. I think you were saying as well, like, he always gets the short end of the stick.
Yeah, he does. Poor Sam.
And I'm still hoping that they deviate back to the books, because I actually just read the last book that just came out, and she ends up with Sam in the end, just like I was hoping she would. Yeah, she gets done with the vampires and everything. She ends up with Sam, and it's actually really sweet the way it ends up. So that's what I'm like hoping. Like maybe they'll end up together in the end. But
I feel like they've had no interaction for like 6 years.
Yeah, they really haven't. They've been separated and stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was just laughing is that there's a lot of really corny parts that, were meant to be dramatic, I think, but I was just laughing because there's the one scene where Jason, like, disowns Sookie because she, like, took, the vampire side, as usual. Yeah. And he's like, oh, and you're dead to me, too. And he, like, runs away, but he runs away like a little boy who's, like, mad. Like, no! But it reminded me on, I think it's Scary Movie 2, where they're in the haunted house, and Anna Faris's character, Cindy, she's like, there's something going on here, Professor. I'm not crazy. And she runs off. Ah!
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely reminded me. I'm like a spoiled brat. Yeah. It's like, oh, here we go. Here's Jason's stupid storyline of the season.
And then the other thing is Rutger Hauer's character, because I loved him in Blade Runner. So I was like, yeah, I know he's in this movie. And I had read stuff saying that he was going to be their fairy grandfather, Niall, which it's in the books too. So I was like, hey, they're going to introduce Niall, but in the premiere, Jason, he like picks him up in the car, and Jason's telling him his life story, and all of a sudden the guy says, oh, well, so you can't keep Sookie away from Warlow. And Jason's like, how do you know her name? And he's like, who do you think you were talking to, Jason? And lets out this maniacal laugh and like disappears through the window. And I'm like, wait, so he's Warlow or is he Niall? Because I don't know. So maybe that's, like you were saying, maybe that's a plot twist that he's both.
I hope that's not a plot twist, because it just seems really. You know what though? I was talking about the show with my friend of mine, and she was like, "Well, I didn't get that from the show." I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Did you read that somewhere? Is that a spoiler?" I said, "I don't know. I mean, I just kind of assume that, and So I really hope that's not a plot twist. But maybe they combine characters, like the Warlow character. Is the Warlow character in the books?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. So maybe they're mixing the two then, or something. I don't know. Who knows?
I didn't like when they introduced that. It's like, I'm coming for you, or whatever. She's like, ah!
That was last season.
Yeah, that was last season. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't digging that either, really.
I'm still gonna give it a chance though, just because I liked seasons like 1 through 3. Like season 2 was okay, but 1, 3, and 4 was good too. So, but now it's like, well, let's give it a shot.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way you did. I don't like this friction between, or riff, or whatever you want to call it, between Eric and Pam.
Yeah,
I love their relationship, and now they're like, and Pam's just acting all hurt and mean and stuff.
And she's like, I'm not crying. And she's like, okay, I am crying, but so what?
Yeah. So, I also hate Nora. Wait, Nora, right?
Nora.
Yeah, okay. His half-sister?
No, it's his sister, because he only had the one creator.
Okay. Oh, that's right, yeah.
Godric, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like her at all. I was kind of hoping she would just get killed off in the premiere here, but I guess she's going to be like a regular now, so...
Yeah, I don't like her either.
I don't care about her at all, and she annoyed the shit out of me last season. What do you think of this whole thing with Bill and Lilith?
It was interesting because he seemed like he was a creature and stuff at the beginning of the premiere, and then he was himself again, saying like, "Oh, I'm just trying to learn my powers. I had these powers." And they asked him, "Are you Lilith?" And he says, "I am Bill Compton." So I'm like, wait, it's confusing me.
Yeah.
But then at the very end, they show like 3 different naked females. Like, are they possessing him? I don't know. So I'm already like, this is confusing.
Because it's gonna be, or this is what I think it's going to be, is what I hope it won't be.
Okay.
But I feel like it's going to be him the whole season, like, I'm Bill, you can trust me. Ugh. And then he's going to turn around and give a grin, an evil grin, and no, it's actually Lilith, so, haha, gotcha.
Fooled ya.
Nope. Yeah, no, not into that at all.
Like, maybe it's going to be about him fighting with the good and evil side of himself.
Yeah, see, all that crap.
Yeah.
Like, I can contain it, but only for so long, you have to run. And then he'll destroy himself. I don't like that story. I don't like that storyline at all. So, I also do not care about the werewolves at all.
And the whole threesome going on, like, okay, yeah, who's this for?
Yeah, it's like, oh, Halsey's shirtless. That's nice, but I don't care. Whatever. I didn't watch the previews for the upcoming season yet either, so I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't know
didn't
what's
see the
coming down
previews
the
either.
pipe.
I just know that they have that senator guy who's like enforcing all these rules, saying vampires can't run businesses anymore and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and that's just kind of pissing me off too because it's just inequality and stuff. Like, no,
yeah.
fair.
You know what I've started to not, or one of the things that I really don't like about this show now, and it was the same problem I had with a show that I used to be obsessed with and now I don't care about anymore, is Supernatural. This show, it's gotten too big. The storylines are worldwide or nationwide, and it doesn't fit with the tone of the show. This is about this little dinky sleepy town in Louisiana and all this weird shit that happens there. And now it's this way bigger thing, and it doesn't fit with like the rest of the show, I don't think. And they're having trouble. They're struggling to like show this grand scale thing, obviously because of budgetary reasons too. But
Is that a word?
budgetary?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Sorry.
Budget reasoning.
Yeah, there you
go. But anyway, making me lose my train of thought. Sorry. But yeah, so it like I like it more where it's contained, just in the state, possibly Mississippi or whatever. So I missed that aspect of the show. That's one of the things I really, really liked about it.
The books stay that way too. The books don't like the True Blood factories being bombed in Japan or anything. It always stays in Louisiana. They mention some queens and kings, like how they had the Queen of Louisiana in the series here. They had those too, and like the Queen of Tennessee and stuff like that. But other than that, it stays in Bon Tom.
Yeah, see, I like that. And then like you see like, okay, the new government ruling passed down, but you see how it affects these people in their their small lives. So yeah, I really, really like that about the show, and I think that's one of the many reasons why I'm just not into it anymore. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, we're still gonna give it a shot.
Oh yeah. That was all the storylines, right?
Yeah, the wolves. I was gonna say Andy is like the shiny part of the premiere. Andy and his
I love Andy
and his fairy babies.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. That's another thing. The fairies and they're like, oh my god, last season when they were like at the fairy saloon or whatever. Oh, I hated it. It was just, oh man, it was a chore to watch that.
Well, that actually, it sort of relates back to the books because in the books, Claude, who's Sookie's cousin or something, he owns like a strip club and stuff, so I think they pulled that from it.
Okay.
But and they were safe there in the book, so I think that's where they got it. But the fairy kids and everything, that's not from the books either.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you remember the very end of the premiere, Andy wakes up and his kids are like 4 or 5 years old already.
Yeah, so they age real.
Yeah.
They'll probably age to where they're 20 and gorgeous, and then they'll stop aging.
Yeah.
I would think is what will happen. So yeah, I don't know where that storyline's gonna go. That was the only thing where I was kind of like, oh well, let's see what happens to poor old Andy. But yeah.
No, it'll be really weird because I actually read this in, I think it was Entertainment Magazine that I get, but it said that a love interest for Sookie is like another fairy this time around. Like,
oh, really?
Possibly. I mean, they said it's just a theory, but it would be weird if Andy's kids grow up and like Hookie, oh my god, Sookie hooks up with one of them.
Well, they're all girls, right?
Are they all girls?
Oh, well, I don't know.
I remember them saying like another girl. But I don't remember if they had like a boy there.
Yeah, not sure.
I don't know. So like keep that in mind. Like, they said like a fairy interest. So
that would be interesting though.
Like, but they didn't have that in the book either. She just had all her cousins and stuff. I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
See how that goes.
So yeah, we'll stick with it, but not super psyched about it by any means.
So man, we've been really negative.
I know, and it's not that I want to be.
Everything's disappointing us.
Well, we have some good stuff on the horizon. We're gonna go see Red 2 next week. And
not Red Dawn 2, just
Red no. Just Red.
I can make fun of myself, whatever.
Oh no, you wouldn't be here if you could. And then also The Heat. I really hope that's funny. That looks very funny. I heard it was funny, so got my fingers crossed for that one. And now I've already seen it, and I really want to talk about it, kind of in depth like we usually do with movies that we've seen. So I kind of hope you see White House Down next week because I really enjoyed the movie and I'd like to talk about it. So tell Vanessa to go see this movie so we can talk about it.
Well, give me some tickets and I'll go.
I'll try.
Pay money. Come on.
I'm not going to pay for that.
Pay for it, dude.
Yeah. But, well, even if you don't see it, I'll talk about that next week. And I really enjoyed that movie, you know, for what it was and stuff. Pure cheesy fun. So next week will be more positive. And hopefully Red 2 and The Heat are good.
Okay.
I think those are it, right, for next week?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have our cue is Red. Oh, we didn't really mention Breaking Bad. We're kind of taking a break from Breaking Bad.
I watched...
No pun intended.
We're taking a break, yeah. I watched 1 or 2 more episodes, but yeah, I haven't hit that part where everybody's like, holy shit,
Where it
what's
takes
going
off,
on? Yeah, I haven't hit that yet, so...
But I
we'll
think
see
I
how
was
it
telling you
goes.
about that, and you were saying it's because it's summertime and the summer blockbusters, they're just taking our attention away.
Yeah,
from Breaking Bad.
there's a lot of movies out right now, because, yeah, I mean, once, like, August hits... It slows down a lot, so we'll have more time for stuff like that, I think. So yeah, I totally agree. We'll pick back more. Oh, man, I can't talk. We'll pick up with that again then. Okay. Any closing remarks?
No, just glad to be back, and yeah, hopefully we won't miss any more.
Yeah,
podcasts. You know,
exactly.
I shouldn't. I'm devoted to you guys, so.
Yeah. Alrighty, so until next week, thanks for listening. We can email is damselsinDebate@gmail.com, and you can also find us on Twitter and on Facebook, Damsels in Debate, and we our website is damselsinDebate.com. You can stream our podcasts from there, so you don't have to go through iTunes, but we are on iTunes too. So if you guys want to give us some constructive criticism, just some great feedback, just say, hey, what's up? Or if you have any movie recommendations for us, that's always very appreciated. I think by now you can kind of tell how our tastes run. So if there's some awesome Zack Snyder movie or Shane Black movie that I don't know about, or Tom Hiddleston movie for Vanessa, well, that's always greatly appreciated. So yeah.
I imagine that the comments after this podcast are going to be like, teach Tina English and speaking lessons for Vanessa and memory lessons.
Tell Tina to get a good night's sleep before she does a podcast, because she is all over the place.
Like, we know, okay?
Yeah, sorry. It's our first time back. Well, Vanessa's first time back.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, that's it.
That's it.
Till next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.